Donna Holt says, why continue putting the British royal family on a pedestal? Isn't it time for them to pay taxes too? Well, I don't think necessarily putting somebody on a pedestal stops them from paying taxes, but putting someone on a pedestal, admiring somebody, I'm afraid it's in the name. It's in the name. The word aristocracy comes from Greek, kratos, to rule, aristo, the best. And so, unless we start redefining the royal family and the monarchy in terms as aristocrats, unless we define them as something else, we automatically place them on a pedestal. I'm simply recognizing the reality, and simply because we may not like somebody doesn't mean that they're not part of a particular group. Prince Andrew is part of the aristocracy. Prince Andrew is part of the best that we have in our society. Now, I personally think he's fallen below that standard, quite significantly below that standard, and therefore he should be held to account. It should be pointed out that he is not keeping the side up, that he's not doing his job. His job is to be the best we can be. His job is to be an aristocrat. And I think he told us when he was doing the Emily Maitlis interview that he was a man of honour. A man of honour would recognise that if he can't do the job, he steps aside. He goes into exile, he goes into seclusion, he disappears. I mean, I don't see how he could possibly renounce his titles and become, quote, an ordinary citizen. That isn't possible. But I think he should shut up and disappear, and with hope, we will forget that he has brought the side down so badly. The question about whether or not we put people on pedestals is precisely about the nature of the job and the nature of the description. Aristocrat or aristocracy is the rule of the best, like democracy is the rule of the people. And how you interpret those two things is different. For example, the Roman Republic had aristocrats, and Julius Caesar was one of them. He came from an aristocratic family. The aristocracy in the Roman Republic expected to be ruling as consuls for 1 year at a time. Over the last 1,000 years, certainly in Britain, we've subscribed to this national monarchy. And since the Glorious Revolution, we've had a monarchy with restrained powers. But we still have the principle of the best rule, and if that group of people, the aristocracy, is not capable of the best rule, then maybe it's time for them to step aside. But putting people on a pedestal, that's where they belong, and we have to change the entire system if we don't think that's appropriate. So that's the issue, and that's why I follow the career and the failings of Andrew with concern, because his failings have a much bigger impact than simply the hubris and the folly of one individual. Prince Andrew represents a significant group, and I'm not sure in the present moment whether we are in a process of replacing the aristocracy with something better. But bringing everything down to a bottom, to the lowest common denominator, is not necessarily a way of making things good. The same issue is something I would call to mind when thinking about education. Education is about bringing everything up to a standard of excellence rather than lowering it down to a standing of plodding mediocrity. And I've seen my own university change, and I've seen universities in other countries change in the space of a few years. I've seen schools change in the space of a few terms. Change can be very quick, and it may be that we need change, fundamental change in our society. And Andrew could well be a catalyst for that, and it's important to watch out for what's coming next. I also think the royal family bring a great deal of focus to our country, and I like the idea of our nationality being represented in an individual rather than in a flag. But I'm open to a discussion on that one.